Hey guys, welcome back. It's Sunday night edition of Two Guys
and Hockey Talks. I'm Pavel.
I'm Evan.
And we're here to talk hockey.
It's
How
good
you guys
to be back
doing?
with you guys. I'm good. I just got back from Jasper. It got some refreshing time. Thanks for covering for me at work.
No worries. I just wanted to let our fans know that Evan had his 11th or 10th grandchild. 11th.
10th.
10th.
The 11th
So
comes
congratulations
in
to
another
him. Well, congratulations, Evan. You're going to be busy. How do you have time for a podcast? Nobody knows. I don't even have one kid. I only have cats.
Well,
you know,
I'll just have to carry him in my arms next time when I sit down for a podcast.
So tell me, Evan, are you building your own team, your own expansion franchise?
I'm going to take the Crusaders name and buy it off them if they go bankrupt during COVID and call myself the Sherwood Park Crusaders.
Nice.
Hey, well, we got lots of news to get to. We have a ton, in fact. Why don't you get us started here? Hey, man, hockey's back. It is back. We're not just saying it's back. We've been saying it since we started the podcast. But, Pavel, we knew this was going to come. We knew this. I know inside you're always hesitant. And so what's happening today?
Well, today's the day where all the teams have to make their way to their hub cities, whether Edmonton or Toronto. So the West comes out to Edmonton today. The East teams come out to the city. So they got to get into the bubble to make sure. Now, one of the cool things about living in Edmonton and being close to the arena is that you can see how they've gated off some of the hotels and areas downtown. So I walked by a couple of times. They fenced it off so that the media, the teams, the players, the coaches, etc., can only get to and from the hotel all the way to their to the arena to start practicing, playing, and getting going, because scrimmages start next week.
Oh, this is and exactly. Everyone's supposed to be in because everyone's they're supposed to be, I believe, tomorrow, starting to assemble the teams together, meeting in all the different places in the confines of whether it's in the hotels and the special conference rooms and or in the stadium. And I believe, isn't the player roster with the team with everyone with them 50?
Yes, and it had to be already submitted by Friday night. Now, there are a couple minor exceptions to some certain things, and I'm sure there's been reporting. Some players have wives and they're giving birth and they want to be around for that. Totally understandable. Some people are taking care of some other personal issues. It's great. We're looking forward to it. So we didn't want to start making predictions because we don't know who's going to be on the ice and when, and things are still going to change, but it's looking like it's happening.
Well, and I do want to say to everyone, so when we're covering our podcast during this time, because some of you are PVRing on the same day, we'll give you 1 day exception. So we'll only update you to the night before our podcast. So the day of, we're not going to share what happened in the afternoon or in that. We'll wait till the following episode. And we might throw in a special one if we get excited.
100%. I am ready. Are you ready, Evan? Because I have my full day booked with watching. Now, I'll be doing some work, but it'll be in the background with a lot of the games because I'm going to try to watch as much hockey as I can. I think there's going to be 6 games per day. I mean, that's hockey overload. That's like a typical Saturday here in Canada.
Well, so I was so excited. My wife was so nice. On the way back, I put on YouTube and I streamed it going through the Jasper National Park coming home to Edmonton. And I actually put on the Colby Cave Memorial scrimmage that they did. I know you'll talk about that in a second. But I had to listen to the scrimmage just to hear the hockey. I couldn't really see. I can't watch, of course, distracted driving and all. So I just kind of put my phone sideways and I let it play, and it just, it was just like music to my ears. People are complaining about summer, and it's like, guys, it rains most of the time. Sit inside, enjoy a game, or pre-record your game. Go have your fun. Don't listen to the radio or anything, and get home and watch your game, man.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Maybe update us, a little bit about what happened yesterday with that.
It was a nice honorary game in memory of Colby Cave, who passed, and it was for his wife Emily and their family, and it was a beautiful gesture. So all the Oilers wore the number 12 during the scrimmage, and it was white versus orange, and it was Connor's team versus Leon's team, and it was a fun game. I think it was 5-2 by the end, and it played in the community rink. next to the arena, and it looked like they had fun. Now, there were some minor injuries to Riley Sheahan, who left, and I know that Kyler Yamamoto had a minor little thing, but he stayed on the ice till the end. So,
and they held
something to watch out for.
Oilers fans, they held Nurse out just because of precautionary. They're just being cautious because they got a preseason game Tuesday night.
Yes.
Flames and the Oilers are getting at it.
It's going to be a great thing.
Just exhibition, but
so I'm excited because hockey's coming up, less than a week. Things are slowly starting together, and I got to say, I did watch a bit of baseball. It was really nice to watch the Blue Jays, play. Although it was a little weird without any fans, but you get past it. And we know we have a very good friend, Karen, who's big into baseball, so I'm sure she was tuned in for every game and every inning.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the question about how to broadcast that. So if you guys are following, you haven't saw on our page, I edited out all the extra and I put on what the NHL is doing for game day presentations. If you guys haven't saw it, I was fascinated. I'm actually excited. I think this is going to be a better TV experience than we normally see. I have high expectations. Of course, they did say don't expect it an exhibition game. And they're going to gear up and just work towards getting a lot better as it continues. So, yeah, no, I'm excited. And you were just saying you saw a couple players downtown?
Yeah.
Out shop.
Yeah, I heard from an inside source. We saw some of the Swedish boys shopping around from a local insider and a fan favorite of the show. So we saw Adam Larsson and Philip Broberg. And I got to say, they're very impressed with Broberg and turns out what he can be and what he can bring around. Now with Adam Larsson, it's how fans love the game, and now that we have the new team out, which you're going to speak about a little bit, one of the predictions is that Adam Larsson may be exposed to the Seattle Kraken franchise roster. But I wanted to know a little bit more about Seattle from your perspective. I hear you have some insight.
So interesting you said that, because I've the two I keep hearing too is, do they take Adam Larsson because there's no way they're going to be able to protect him as well with how many people they're going to have to protect, but also Zach Kassian. Could you see Kassian cracking some heads in Seattle?
Oh, great.
Okay, let me just cover a little bit about this. This is interesting, everyone. So the Seattle expansion, you guys know they're coming into the season in 2021-22. That's the plan at this point. But what you need to know is Bill Daly has gone on specifically and has reminded people that Vegas will not receive any of the $650 million expansion fee from Seattle, because when they came in, they would not receive that. That only goes to the 30 teams. But in exchange, no players will be selected from Vegas. Their players are safe. As Karen, our friend at work, says in baseball, he's safe, right? But, okay, so here's some things. Seattle's going to have to select 14 forwards, 9 defensemen, and 3 goalies. As well, Seattle, out of the 20 of the 30 players, they have to be under contract. So sometimes they can get away with not having players under contract that they're taking just to let off a loss. The other players they select, they can be, those other ones, 10, they can be pending free agents. So if someone is coming into free agency, but they cannot select more than 10 free agents. So that'd be an unrestricted free agent, I believe. I have to check on that. The total value of the cap hits for Seattle must be between 60 and 100% of the salary cap, which we've heard now is flat at $81.5 million. So they have to spend at least 48.9 if you're checking, but it doesn't take much to get there nowadays.
That's true.
The other thing is, whoever Seattle selects, they are not eligible to be bought out of their contracts earlier than 2022. So they can't just get someone and just buy them out right away. The other teams can only protect, so say Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, all our Canadian teams, Habs, they can only protect one goaltender, and they can choose one of 2 options for protecting skaters. They can go 7 forwards and 3 defensemen for 10 skaters, or they can protect any combination of 8. So if you have a lot of forwards and not as many good D, or vice versa, but you can protect 5 defensemen and 3 forwards, though, for example. The other thing is teams must protect their players with no movement clauses in their contracts. So players, if they have a no movement, they cannot waive that as a team. However, the player can elect to waive the clause. That was how they got Marc-Andre Fleury in Vegas. So now here's the thing. Also, something very interesting. So Seattle, gotta love the name Kraken. Let's get this season Kraken, man. Division alignment. See, when Seattle enters the league, they are going to join the Pacific Division. Makes sense, right? The Beast from the Northeast. No, that doesn't work. The Beast Kraken will rise from the Pacific Northwest, I guess you'll have to say. But anyway, the Arizona Coyotes are going to move to the Central on that year. So the Arizona Coyotes, again, are going to move to the Central when the Kraken Seattle team comes into the Pacific. So, hopefully the other Pacific teams are hoping they won't be quite as good as Vegas coming in. So, and there is a link. TSN's Darren Drager, insider, and many of you already know him. He tells you that it's pretty safe right now to assume that Gerard Gallant, who was the first coach of the Vegas, is in the mix for the coaching position, but there's still not a rush. My feeling, Pavel, is they're going to wait to the end of these playoffs and see what's in the mix. That's what I think.
100%.
So I would take Gallant. I think this is an easy fix.
100%. However, there are some pretty good coaches out there.
Oh, I know.
I would consider even Peter Laviolette. He's looking for work out of Nashville.
Yeah, that's right? True. That's true.
He's available. There's some good coaches out there, right? So, I mean,
you guys
New Jersey.
Throw in the comments if you guys think of some coaches that are coming up. Maybe we're not thinking of just in the moment, even. But
and what I would suggest is even looking at coaches in Europe, seeing if they'd want to move someone over there, because oftentimes we go through college coaches first. But
that's true.
Give a chance to a European coaches. Now, fun little side note about the Kraken. A buddy of mine and I were chatting a bit about, what the potential roster would look like. And we would think it would be funny. Now, I can't say this would ever happen. If Seattle would take on every bad contract that every team has that they don't want, within reason, of course, with the addition of a prospect attached to that,
or a top
and
pick,
then watch them go on a run and have, like, for example, Louis Eriksson, Milan Lucic, James Neal, all on the same line and just kill it and be in top 10 in scoring. Of course, provided they have the pick so that they can pick in the future. Can you imagine how crazy that would be? Every team would love Seattle for taking on that bad contract, and they would give them space, give it everything. So we were just having some fun with that, playing armchair GM if they took on those bad contracts. And they would meet the, as you were saying, 60 to 100% or the 80% of the cap.
60. They got to be at least 60%. Yeah, just under 50 million. Yeah, that is funny when you think. I mean, this I feel bad. What? I don't have the fact with me. I saw it from one of the new guys. He's a new guy out of Seattle that I was just following on Twitter, and I guess the Seattle Kraken have over 150 million tweets and follows on Twitter alone within the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
My goodness, this is going to go crazy. Vegas was a successful plant, and I think this franchise, I think it's, I actually can see, Portland, there's a lot between Portland and Seattle, but I think Portland's coming over. They're going to support, a franchise out of Washington. By the way, get this. There were some people lobbying to try to buy the Seattle Thunderbirds brand.
Oh.
There was a push for it, but they really didn't want to discourage that. So, and I almost wonder, could we see the Seattle Kraken eventually, just like the Flames do with the Hitmen and the Oilers with the Oil Kings? Could they buy the WHL franchise?
I could see that. I could see. Well, it depends. I don't know much about the ownership of the group, but I mean, if there was any instability they needed to sell, I could see that happening. I could see, not at the beginning, but maybe later on to see how they were good. So I got a question for you, Evan. It's not going to be answered right away, but it's the future of the NHL. Do you think there's going to be a 33rd expansion team, or do we see another team moved somewhere? Like, for example, there's been talk of Houston getting a team.
Yeah.
Or to rile up all our fans right now, does Quebec get a team? Say Florida gets moved.
Whoa. So I cannot see the NFL has 32. That's a lot of teams. And with stability, unless you had 32 solid franchises for 3, 4 straight years. So I'm going to say relocation will be the only way you get another franchise. But you're right. Houston is probably the most popular, and Quebec City. Quebec City in Canada, of course. I mean, it's kind of sad. They built that arena with the hopes, and they kind of feel let down. However, not just them, but you know who's been fighting for years and years is Kansas City. They've been trying to
Oh,
get a team back. They built an arena
yeah, they
for
had
it,
one.
well, but now their arena is getting old.
Mhm.
So
That's what happens when you build a building and don't use it.
hey, just a quick note, since we were talking about the WHL, just so you guys know, the Canadian Hockey League is gone before, I guess, and is seeking money from the Canadian federal government due
Oh,
to some teams are going to be forced out of business due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
wow.
Of course, they were forced to suspend this season and the playoffs and the Memorial Cup because of it. And they don't have certainty they can return in 2021. Now, the NHL could operate a season without fans in their seats because of their television deal, possibly.
Yeah.
But a gate-driven league, you know, the CFL's in that same boat, but a gate-driven league like the CHL won't have that ability. And not only is that going to be challenging for the CHL money-wise, but just think of this: I think it was just a couple months ago, it was in May or something, that the league settled for a 6-year minimum wage class action lawsuit for minimum wage stuff. It was over $30 million they had to fork out.
Yeah.
And reportedly, that each CHL team is going to have about $250,000 to pay out themselves in damages. And
Wow.
now they're also facing the possibility of a class action lawsuit with the issue of hazing.
Oh,
So,
yes, yes.
and if there's nowhere to go for these guys, if the Canadian Hockey League can't play, does that affect the American Hockey League or the East Coast Hockey League? Could this be why we're
100%.
seeing people go to Europe right now?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that's going to be scary.
There's a lot of unknowns and uncertainties right now in the hockey world, definitely, because yeah, I mean, you want prospects and players to be able to grow and develop
Yeah.
in systems. And, Canada still has one of the best systems in the world for hockey development and some of the best players coming out of it. But if people get an opportunity to play and, you don't want to stifle your career and limit yourself, you're going to have to go find somewhere to play, whether in the KHL, in the European League, in the Swedish League, Finnish, wherever it may be.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, and I think
speaking of,
I was going to say the CHL is going to be dealing with the same issue that in Major League Baseball with the Jays being the only team in Canada. There's a
yeah,
few teams in the CHL in the States, and it's the crossing that border piece that I'm worried about come the beginning of training camp, whether
yeah,
they're going to be able to pull this off or not.
100%,
Go ahead, you're right.
100%. Nope, 100%. I was going to get into with everything happening in the NHL right now, and you mentioning that Arizona moving into the Central League. There's some other rumblings coming out of Arizona. As you all know, it was just posted this morning that I guess the Arizona Coyotes have cut ties with John Chayka, the GM, the youngest GM ever to be hired on.
Yeah.
It was
Wasn't he
25, 26,
25,
26,
26?
20,
Wow.
and so now he's 31.
Yeah.
He's a little younger than I am, which is crazy because I'll happily GM for a team. I'll take even a discount rate, right?
Will you do it for $250,000 only?
Happily, right? But I
Yes.
guess there's been some friction there and some uncertainty, and there's some chaos. And to me, this is just bad timing. I think with
Yes.
with everything happening right now up to the playoff bubble, and Arizona did make it to this. I mean, who knows if they would have made it if the season continued on. They were on pace for about 86.56 points, so I'll round up 87 points. They acquired Taylor Hall to add that additional
Yeah.
scoring. They had
Yeah.
Kessel come in, because not only did he thrive under Rick Tocchet historically and previously,
Is it?
but also the fact that, he was known for being, a clutch goalie scorer. So, what was going to happen? But
Yeah.
clearly something's going on, and management has taken the reins. And, I was reviewing a little bit of his history and his trades, and there's been some good trades and bad trades. It's a mixed bag with Chayka.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the job he did, but I mean, they really haven't really gone far since where they were. I mean, they took on some dead contracts, which we get it. The NHL kind of encouraged that to happen. But
Yeah.
what do you think? What are your thoughts on the
Yeah,
situation?
well, so interesting because we, between our shows, and especially because we did a Tuesday edition, there was so much going on. I was like, I want to get on the podcast. I want to talk about this. So Chayka, at first, I was concerned because he was not at the meeting with Taylor Hall, and Ferris, Taylor Hall's agent, went and left. He's been up in Canada for this whole COVID. Why would you go down there if it's just a meet and greet? You're not going to
Yeah.
cross out of the country because you're going to have to quarantine for 14 days, getting back, all that stuff. So with him going, it had to be an important meeting. And then not seeing Chayka there had me concerned right away. So I started trying to find all the little bits and sources. And I started hearing that his office had been cleaned out. So while this was happening earlier in the week, his office, there was nothing in it. Now, was that just a gossip rumor or whatever? And then I got thinking, this was just me. Well, maybe he has COVID, so they're just hiding him, right? During this time.
Could be.
So I actually sent. I never got nothing back, Elliot Friedman. You never got back to me, but I tweeted out to Elliot and asked him, could it be because of COVID, or something? But he was working hard on it, and he had got back and said so. Between him and a gentleman that is down, I think his last name is Morgan. He's one of the guys that works with the club down there, reporter. And so in his case, what he was saying is that this is what it sounds like, that Chayka was offered some type of management position, non-NHL GM. Not a GM in the NHL, but he was offered some other position, and he went to the new ownership and asked. This is one of the rumors coming out, and they were very disappointed with all the reins they've given him, that he would actually talk like that, which started, my understanding, the division to the point that now possibly that could be the reason that he's gone. So where is he going to land up? Because that might say a lot. Is it still within the hockey world? Or is it totally more in the business world? But I cannot see him in a business world making the money that you can make in the NHL. So I don't know. I don't think the last of this is going to be out there. So having said that, if you're Taylor Hall, are you going to stick around? He's going to. They've already said that they're. So this is on Taylor Hall. They've already said that they're the offer that they were giving him, so he could go anywhere between 7 and 11 million is what they say. I can't see him ever getting $11 million. I think 9.5 tops in a new NHL, but not with the cap now. But even so, right now it sounds like they came in at a lower offer for Taylor Hall.
Yeah.
They didn't give him because they have limited cap space. So Hall could definitely be on his way out. This is going to add to the fuel to the fire. And they already said they want to explore what's out there. Man, that sounds like John Tavares to me. There's no way that I see him going back to the Coyotes. And with the mess that's in there, and this is what, the third ownership in like the last 6-7 years. It's really too bad because they've worked so hard to keep people in that area.
100%. And their biggest issue is scoring, which is one of the reasons they were drawn to Taylor Hall, because they wanted to bring somebody in who can score and bring that touch. I was told that the starting rate that the management offered Taylor Hall and Darren Ferris is 7 million AAV, right? Now, they may have backloaded it with bonuses and stuff. I don't know. But that was what they were offering. I think he's not going to settle for less than 8.5. That's my prediction. I can't see him going higher, he'll take higher, but I don't see it going lower unless he gets a sweet deal.
He wants a contender, right? And so if he was going to sign with a non-contender and hope, especially at this stage of his life, this is now the lead of his career, last chance Susan. So I can't see him doing it in there for less than 10.
So what I think he may do, and Timo Meier did this, is take a risk on yourself for a 1-year big pay contract or a 2-year, and play your heart out, see how you do, because injury did derail his performance a little bit in Arizona, and then try to get that big paycheck next year, because who knows what will be next year with the NHL, where we'll be, how it'll look. I mean, this is one of the reasons we have currently the playoff situation with the cities. We're seeing how it's going to look, because we don't know what the season's going to look like when it starts up again. And so
my prediction is 2 years, $7 million with the contending team. That's where he goes, with a team that's maybe in the top 3 or 4 in either conference. So, hey, just we're going to have to get into our Finnish team because we're running out of time. I just want to report, we're talking about Edmonton, the Kobe Cave, everything. You guys know it was brought up by Pavel last show or the show before. We were talking about John Marino. That kind of slipped out of. You should see their Twitter page. They say, "How did we get this player? This is amazing." It's being reported by Jesse Marshall that he has been the best defenseman on the ice in the intra-squad scrimmages. They say right from puck drop, he's steady. He has everything that you need and what they have come to get this to expect of him. He's only been there for how long? They said he's efficient, he's effective, he's careful with the puck, he's good in all 3 phases. That means offense, defense, and special teams. Oh my goodness, Edmonton, you really dropped the ball. But anyway, that's just a whole other piece. I'm ready for the Olympics.
Yeah, the Finnish team, we did a little digging, and we just said we wanted to finish line 2020 again. Youth like what you let you talk.
Sounds good. If he's wing, we make those mistakes. Free fanatic.
All right, listen,
yes.
Up
the quarters. And we could share the role. So for $500,000, you can have us both. And we will take our opinions to Arizona. Beef.
Yes.
Okay, that's an inside joke. You got to know about the Miami Heat. Okay, guys, Finland. Let me give you my top 6. This was definitely, I feel the first line's really easy. The other lines became much, and I am going to slaughter the Finnish names. This is where I think, Pavel, you're going to do much better than me. Okay, Finland. So Patrick Laine on the left wing with Barkov centering and Mikko Rantanen on the right. I think that's a given for me on my top line. I think they compete with anyone. Now, the second line, because I'm going top 6, I'm going to have Sebastian Aho center that line with Joel Armia on the right and Tara Vinen on his left. That's who I'm running with. So tell me, who do you got?
Exactly the same thing. The only person I would replace, but I know you struggle with this, is Kapi Kakko on the right wing.
Okay.
That second line.
You're going to put Kakko instead of Armia in that top 6? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be young, strong, fast. He's going to pick it up. The Rangers are up and coming. Just watch. He didn't have the best season, but he'll get there. He had his first goal against the Edmonton Oilers, too. Fun fact. That was his first NHL goal ever.
I think Edmonton lets everybody get their first goal.
That's true.
Including if you're a former Oiler fan. So see, guys, we may follow the Oilers and be fans of the Oilers, but we also know a lot of what they do, and sometimes it is funny. Okay, so my bottom 6. I am going to go in the middle. Now, I'm going to slaughter his name, all you have fans. So, Kakakamini? Or
Kakanyami. No, Kakanyami.
I'm sorry. If you're watching, Jess Prairie, if that's how you say your first name, I apologize, but I think you're a good player, and I'm putting you in on the third line center. I know it's been an up and down year, but we're talking 2 years out, and I think he's going to have a good. And I'm going to put Kasperi Kapanen on his right side out of Toronto, and on his left, I'm going to put Capo Kako. So I'm going to go with that as my third line. And then my last line, I'm going to take Eric Holla, and I'm going to play him with Donskoy. Normally he's on the right, but he can play left. So I'm going to take Donskoy on my left And guys, get ready for this. You're going to love this, Edmonton fans. I'm going to put Jesse Poyarvi on that right side.
Okay.
Oh, what do you got?
Interesting. Almost the same thing. Same third line, except my left winger would be Mikael Granlund from Nashville.
Yeah.
Like he's got some veteranship experience. He can get it. As for my fourth line center, Rupe Hintz from Dallas Stars. He's a strong, solid fourth line center. Donskoy would be his right wing, and of course Eric Holla would be his left. And
so you can take Holla out of the center and throw him on the wing then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be.
That's not a bad Finnish team though, and especially give it a couple more years, going. Yeah. Okay, so we're ready for D. Do you want to start our D?
Sure.
Give me your top four.
So my top four are Miro Heiskanen, and Henry Yarhu. See, now I can't pronounce it.
I think it's Jokiharju. Yeah,
Jokiharju.
There you
go. Now you can make fun of me. I apologize, Finnish fans. It's my fault. You can at me. I'm sorry. And my second line would be Esa Lindell and Rasmus Ristolainen. Give me your third one since you're at it, because mine are mixed all over. So it would be Olli Mata and Sami Vatanen.
Wow. So this is interesting, guys, for what we want, because I would go Heiskanen, of course, on that left. I would take Ristolainen on that right.
Okay.
My second line, I would take Lindell and Vatanen.
Okay.
And my last line, I go with Olli Mata. He's a two-time Stanley Cup champion with the Penguins. Yeah. And Jokiharju, actually, on there. Now, Jokiharju, if you don't know, he's not playing. He plays in Finland. Or is he in the KHL, actually? No.
Jokiharju?
No, actually. So who's in the KHL? There's a guy named Mikko Lehtinen. He led all KHL Blue Liners in goals, assists, and points this season. He would be my seventh defenseman I'd kind of look in there.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That's good.
Who do you got?
All right.
Before we wrap up, who do you got in goal?
Okay. I've got Tuukka Rask and UC Saros.
Oh, Saros. I forgot about Saros. Well, again, I'm going all Homer. You see behind me. I'm going Mikko Koskinen in net. The guy is coming alive. I think he's got it. Give him a couple more years. He was good in the K. He's really coming around, proving people wrong. And but yeah, Saros is he's good. So, well, man, we are going into overtime. So, guys, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below thoughts, what you want to see, what you want to hear. Reach out to us, share, and also if you get a chance, if you're on Twitter, you can follow Revan at Rev Ennards.
Revenev, Revenev on Twitter.
Revenev
on Instagram.
Color Avenue.
Right on. Let us know. Let us know your thoughts. You got interesting stuff. Ship it our way. Put posts on our page. We appreciate it. Let us know if it's information that's useful. If it's not, tell us too.
And we have a little something bubbling and getting prepared for the Stanley Cup.
We got
that run. We have a little contest coming up, so we hope you tune in and join us. We have a little something nice.
If you like winning something, you're gonna want to hear about this.
It's worth it, and I promise it doesn't have to do with any of us. At least not with me.
Yeah, and I promise it doesn't have to do with COVID. Well, guys, keep your feet on the ice. That's it for me. I'm Evan.
I'm Pavel, and we're two guys and
Hockey Talk. You guys, before Pavel steals my thunder, keep your stick on the ice.
Stay safe out there, guys.
All right. In the meantime, in between time, that's another edition of Two Guys in Hockey Talk. Take care.
Bye, guys.